Okay, awesome. Sharing my screen. We're going to just take a quick peek at some slides. Let me see if I can do it in presentation mode. Awesome. Can you guys see it? You're good? Cool. So a couple things we're going to talk through briefly tonight. And throughout the month of April, we're going to be going more in depth with all of this stuff, kind of like hand in hand with you guys in our little message pod that we're going to put together with everybody who is newer, and really just trying to lay a firm foundation for their business. You know, like to me, new coach doesn't mean necessarily that you just enrolled. It's somebody who is ready to lay that foundation and kind of build upon that. So that's what we're going to be doing together. And a lot of the things tonight, it might sound like, oh my gosh, like how do I do all those things? But we're going to be breaking it down throughout the whole month. And truthfully, the things that I'm talking about tonight are the things that you're seeing me, Kristen, Ashley, Leah, who else is on this call? Nicolette, you're seeing your veteran coaches doing these routinely and regularly because it is the basics that make a successful coach. Okay. So one of the things that I just want to make sure that we like get right away is that this idea of perfection, like I've got to be good at something before I do something. And in this industry, that will kill you every time. It will kill your momentum because not taking action is never a good strategy to get the things that you want to get, right? In order for Margot to be here, Leah had to take some action, right? To be able to reach out to you or to be able to build trust with you or connect with you. And same thing, Casey, you and I, like I've had to be doing things in order for you to feel like you could trust in me to join me with Beachbody. So even if it looks like it's perfect on one end, just remember that it's always imperfect, messy action. And that beats your perfect plans and your perfect ideas every time. So what I want you guys to like agree upon and like everybody re-agree upon who's with me tonight is that we're going to be the kinds of coaches this month that we just take messy action while we learn. This is not a learn business. Like in college, I went to school to be a teacher. I learned how to be a teacher, and then they threw me in the classroom, and trust and believe everything that they taught me in college did not apply when I was actually in the trenches of the classroom, right? Like that was the worst. Okay. And the same thing kind of applies here. If you just sit back and learn social media and learn how to post and learn how to invite, but you never actually do it, when you actually take that action, it's going to be completely different than just hearing about it and learning about it and soaking up the knowledge. So we're not going to hoard knowledge. We're just going to take action as we learn. Deal? So coaching is three things. And Margot and Casey, you have like, you know, these three things already, and we've been over them. I'm sure Leah's gone over it with you, Margot, but you guys have already gotten really good at coaching yourself. And that journey is only going to keep getting better. The way I coach myself today has evolved and shifted and grown than what it was 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, right? So just because today you're like, well, I'm coaching myself, but it's not as good as how that person's coaching themselves. Can you just for a second believe and hope that you'll get better as you go, right? And that, to me, that's just true of everything. The more you practice it, the better you're going to get. So we commit to programs. Most of us are doing gut protocol right now and really loving our results and how we're feeling and just looking at how foods are making us feel. So commit to that. Commit to documenting that journey. Read books, listen to podcasts that pull greatness out of you. Be hungry to learn, show up to as many trainings as you can get on, right? And start to see, can you shift things in your schedule so that you can be on trainings live? Because live is so much better for connection purposes, because this business is through a screen. Live is so much better than watching replays if you can. And truly, you guys, business success is always found in fitness and mindset journey. When I have a coach come to me and they're struggling, my first question is going to be, what are you reading? What are you listening to? Like, tell me about what's in your ears. And then the other thing I'm going to ask the coach is, talk to me about your journey. Like, what workout program are you like loving right now? And if you're not thriving and loving, like if you started gut protocol in 4 weeks for everybody and it really wasn't your jam and you're like, man, I just really want to go back to job one, then I would encourage you to do that, because your success is always going to be found in how excited you are and how connected you are to your own journey and your own mindset as well. Okay. So that's you guys. And you've already been crushing that. And you're just going to keep getting better and better and better at that the more you practice as new programs come out and you try new things, right? But the second part is the new part that we're going to be walking with you guys through in the month of April and beyond, of course, but how we share our journey. Yeah. I think about our social media like a business in terms of like being on and off. And if I didn't come onto my social media stories today because I was tired or I didn't feel like it, or, whatever reason, it would almost be like if your favorite newspaper or magazine or program just decided not to put out content today because they didn't feel like it, right? Like they're a business. So like if New York Times isn't on my doorstep in the morning, now I'm not saying that I'm like New York Times, but I'm just giving the analogy that if New York Times is not on your doorstep in the morning, you're going to wonder if they're still open for business. And so you've got to start to treat your social media. I know this is a very big transition for a lot of people, but your social media is where your business happens more often than not, and where you build relationships with people and where you can show up and showcase what you're doing. And you're going to get better the more you practice, but things like workout clips, sharing things that you love and why you love it. So I love to share about how I make my Energize and why I love my Energize. I don't say buy my Energize. I'm simply walking people through the things that work for me. And you're going to see things in my day that work for me and that help me that aren't Beachbody related. And that's so okay. You don't have to be a walking billboard for Beachbody. They don't need that. They created the coach because what people needed was accountability. They needed someone to help them follow through on the promises they made to themselves. And I'm not sure if you know, but I can take you back real quick in time when Beachbody was formed, like in the coach network. They noticed it was P90X, and they noticed that a lot of people, they had like, remember you guys back in the day, they had like chat rooms and stuff like that, like message walls and things like that. And that was kind of like social media. So they noticed that there were a lot of people on these like message walls and chat rooms, like connecting with each other and like asking for recipes or tips or, hey, I'm really sore, what did you do? And they were like swapping ideas, right? And when Beachbody first launched these DVDs and VHSs of these programs, they would reach out to consumers, they would cold call, and they would be like, hey, Sally, I see you bought P90X in December. How are you loving it? Can you tell me about your results? And Sally would be like, it's on a shelf here somewhere. And people like were buying the things, but when they started calling them to see about their results, they weren't doing things. And so then when they saw these message boards, these like chat rooms happening, they realized that there was something special about community. And so that's how the coaching opportunity was born, was out of the need for community, not sales. Beachbody was fine with selling their products and programs. It wasn't us that they needed for that. It was us that they needed so that people would follow through. And so that's your role, is sharing your journey, what's working for you, the highs, the lows, all of it, right? And like I said, you'll get good, or you'll get better at it as you go, and you just have to try. One of the coolest things in last month's new coach group was when one of our coaches, Haley, shared that she was really nervous to talk, like live talk on a video like this, to her story. And that she realized by the end of the month that it was actually something that started to come natural to her, and she wasn't so scared anymore. And so she started to realize like all this applies to everything, and so the more that you can just try things and get a little out of your comfort zone, and we're going to be there rallying all along the way. The third part is what makes a coach a coach. You're not a coach, my friends, if you don't have clients. Think about it. You're not a coach if you don't have a team. You're not a coach if you don't have people in front of you to coach, right? And so coaching yourself and sharing your journey, I can teach a customer how to do that. What sets you apart from somebody who is a customer who just loves Beachbody is helping other people say yes and starting their journey, and then walking hand in hand with them the way your coach did with you. And right now, you guys, you have incredible upline support that you don't have to worry about starting your own community and groups and things like that. All you need to worry about is getting people around you that you're excited to walk hand in hand with and have on this journey with you. And then from there, we can help you learn how to open up your own groups if that's what you want to do. But for right now, they can be totally put in the sisterhood and Leia's community and just in all the places, right? So you don't have to worry about like, do I have to run all my groups and stuff? No. All we want you to focus on this month is getting a couple people to just link arms with you and do this with you. Cool? That's like our big goal, because that's the thing that sets you apart. Does anybody want to talk about things you can control? Anybody want to take the mic from me for a sec and like do a little Brittany?
I will for a little bit. Kristen, were you getting ready to push?
Britt.
I think Britt's got it listed right here. There's so much we can control. And I think there are some times that daily I'm being tested and reminded what I can control. Sometimes we think it's out of our control, but if we just take that deep breath and step back, we actually are in control. It could be something as simple as flipping our mindset around if we're having a really crappy day and just push and play. We're in control of that. We're in control of how we receive what somebody says to us. Trust and believe. I'm still working on it when people quit on me. I'm still saying it. I just said it. They're not quitting on me. They're quitting on themselves. But I take it personal. And I think I take it personal because just like the two of you and everybody else that's sharing this screen with us, we bleed Beachbody Blue. We believe in these products. We believe in these super trainers. We believe in the sisterhood fit tribe that we've got around us. And we may not be that hungry that day or something else, a craving hits us, but we can control the fact that we go and we make our shake instead of grabbing something else. We can control how many flipping ounces of water we drink a day, as Britt's sipping on hers too. It's those little things instead of grabbing that soda, grabbing that extra cup of coffee. So think about all these different things. I'm going to be open and honest right now. We had a gut check call last night. I can control my daily power hours and work in my IPAs, income producing activities. I have not been doing that. But who's that on? It's on me. I can control whether I show up or I don't, whether it be for my workouts and myself or for my business. Success sisters, man, I've run with Ash, I've run with Kristen, I've run with Britt, I'm running with Ash again. We made a commitment to ourselves this morning. And don't be afraid to reach out to somebody. Just because they are a different rank than you, they're still there for you. If you want to run with them, ask them if they have not come to you. Maybe they didn't even think you were thinking in that way. Goodness, being a part of book club, y'all know what that's like. Reaching out to your mentor, Success Sister just mentioned that. Contributing on the team page, you both are amazing at that. You are amazing in our groups. You are already doing the things and you're in control of that. How many other people are in our groups that aren't doing that? That are on our team that aren't commenting or reacting to Britt's post or Ashley's post this morning on team page, and y'all are doing it. I may have missed something else, so somebody jump in, but there's a lot we're in control of.
I love it. Exactly. Thank you. At the end of the day, there's a lot we can't control, because I can't control what Sally says when I reach out to her. I can't control whether my crotchety aunt, I don't have a crotchety aunt, but I can't control whether my crotchety aunt decides to make fun of what I'm eating at Thanksgiving, right? I can't control if my brother like makes fun of my posts on social media. I can't control a lot of those things, but I can control the kinds of books I read and podcasts I listen to that help me work through how it's not them or it's not me, it's a reflection of them, right? And I can work through the things so that I, in a sense, start to become like a soft heart but thick skin, right? But there's a lot of things, there's so many things you can't control, but there are so many that you can. And so what I'm going to rally for you guys and what I'm constantly reminding our team of is how to be more obsessed with the actions, and then the results will come. A lot of times we're so hyper focused on what we want to achieve that we start to kind of forget all the things we could actually do to move the needle to get closer to that. Because sometimes, I'll reach out and I'll say, how are you doing on this? How are you doing this? Oh, not well. Well, what are you doing? Oh, I stopped moving my body. I stopped, I'm like, okay, ding, ding, ding. You stop doing the things. And we as coaches, we're like professional dot connectors. I just connect the dots for people. Like, do you see that you feel better when you're on gut protocol? Do you see that like you feel better when you move your body more often? Do you see that you like feel better when you get on book club and get on calls and things like this? So why don't we connect the dots? If you want to always feel a certain way, then do the things that make you feel that way, right? I love it. Who wants to dive in and share a little bit about like cliff notes about vital behaviors? Kristen, you want to unmute?
Sure, I can go. So vital behaviors. So there's 4 main things that we really look at. Are we doing to be sharing about the business with other people? So the first one is being proof that the products worked. Like, are you guys on a workout program? Are you using the supplements? And are you a part of the community? We already just kind of talked about that. Like, we know that we're all doing those things. That's like kind of the easy part, right? But it's also easy not to do, which I would say is why the community aspect is like the biggest piece of that, because we notice when you guys aren't there, and we will reach out and be like, Casey, haven't seen you in like 2 days. Are you okay? So the community is like a big, big part of helping you guys stay on that journey with the supplements and the program. So that's being proof of the product work, sharing it with others. So sharing your journey on social media. Are you guys sharing, your workout, like what you're eating? Are you sharing value with them? Are you asking them to join you? I know the inviting part is like, can be super scary. How do I do it? What do I say? I'm not comfortable asking them like all these things. And we're going to dive into that with you guys in the message thread starting next week. But are you ready to ask people to join you? Like, that's like a big thing. This is a gift that we have of health that we have found for ourselves. So why would we not want to share that with others, right? The next piece is the connecting and the inviting and the following up. So how do we connect with people on social media? How do we invite them and how do we follow up with them? This is all part of a process, and Brittany has done an amazing training on this. And I myself, I continue to go back to that when I sign people up and follow that process, A, B, C, D, E, F, until they hit purchase on that share card. Like, it is foolproof. You use it and you will get somebody signed up. It is perfect. And then personal growth and development. I love our book clubs. Like, if you have not been on a Saturday book club or a Tuesday with Leigh and I, you're truly missing out. The community and the communication and just how safe we feel opening up to each other in that space is something very beautiful. I just think back to when COVID hit and some of the conversations that we had, not only with what was going on with COVID, but like there's a lot of other things happening at the time in the world. And we were able to talk about that and openly share like, wow, I felt really bad about thinking this, and this is how I felt, and like working through that together. So book clubs are insanely important for you to work on that mindset and grow, not just on your own by reading the book and following the chapters along, but then meeting up on Saturday morning or Tuesday night and talking through some of that stuff. Like, sometimes like we just hold everything in sometimes, and actually speaking it out to somebody else to get a different perspective or just off our heart is like the biggest part of personal development, is opening up and sharing that. So when you see that the next book club is announced and you're able to hop on Saturday mornings or Tuesdays with Leigh and I, please like jump in on that. Even if it's out of your comfort zone, like that is where you're going to grow the most.
Yes. And this month, we're really going to check in regularly on these. I mean, look at the first 3 things. You can kind of put personal development and growth with the you first. You almost could bundle those 2 together, because that is like self-care, right? Looking at your mindset as well as like your body, and being a part of the community. But we're going to be really checking in on those things. Did you coach yourself today? How'd you show up for you today? Did you share today? How'd you share today? And did you reach out to people today? How'd you reach out to people today? Right. And those are the three things we're going to just continue to keep circling back to and really checking in on, and then sharing ideas and rallying and cheering each other on along the way. I love that, Kristen. Thank you so much. Ashley, can you tell everybody about how we get close to the fire? My friend, will you be the fire maker for us? Tell us what's going on
Absolutely.
between.
Yes. So staying connected. So we have so many opportunities to like lean in and really get around the fire. Like Britt was saying, first up is the National Wake Up Call. So on Mondays at, I just know Central Time, 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. Central Time, is when Beachbody has their corporate training, and it's always filled with a lot of good like information about things that are currently happening, but also they always have somebody from the business. So usually a top coach or somebody who has like done really well in their business who comes on and just lights a fire and has, I guess, different like tips and ways to look at things in your business and how to grow it. And it's always like such a good learning moment. So that's one of the first ones. Monday night team trainings with Britt, always gold, always lights a fire. And I think that it's really awesome that we have those both on Mondays, because it kicks your week off and it gets a fire lit in you to like continue doing that. And I know personally for myself, sometimes as the week wears on, you can kind of feel like a little bit depleted sometimes. And so it's just like such a good way to get back in when you are feeling depleted, and go watch some of these trainings and jump on and like make sure, you know, if you're watching the wake up call, to comment underneath like with your takeaways, because there's so many good things that we can take away from them. Tuesdays, we've been doing our guided team action hours. Also very important. This was key for me when I first started, and still to keep me accountable. But you know, Britt does a great way of walking us through all the different things on the trackers and how we can check off those boxes, because sometimes it can feel a little overwhelming if you're just sitting down for the first time to like look at the tracker and try checking things off. And it can be like, how do I do this all in an hour? So that's really important. Book clubs, Kristen talked about that. And then Win the AM. I know a lot of you guys are on there every morning working out and just getting around the fire that way. And all of these things, like the more that you lean in and actually connect with other people, that's how we form those relationships. And it gets to a point that like when you actually meet people in person, it doesn't feel like they're a stranger. It feels like you know them because you've seen them through a screen, you've communicated with them. And that is what I think is like super special.
Absolutely. And I always say that a connected coach is a successful coach. You know, any coach that like is leaned out, doesn't really get on trainings, you know, and tells me that they've got big goals, but they're not getting connected, I promise you they're really not ever achieving those goals. There is a direct correlation to your connection to the community and your success as a coach. And it's part of how you become, like how you build belief in yourself, but also in our team, which is essential to this business. So thank you, Ashley. Guys, in terms of book club, we don't have a book club in April because we have a lot of really fun events coming up on the weekends. Plus it's Easter and all the things. So we postpone book clubs for April, but coming back in May, we will have book clubs. So whatever you're reading and listening to right now, keep going. If you need a recommendation, we have them in our handbook that we'll be giving you. But then in May, join us for the next book club. Okay, so your homework. This is the new coach handbook. And in our message thread, I will give it to you. You will get it. Okay. Look at what I did, y'all. I printed it and I got it spiral bound, except they spiral bound it way too thin for me. And it's not right. It's annoying is what it is. But it's spiral bound. That's the point. And this is what we're going to go through. The very front of it is everything that we're going to walk through for the month, about how we open up shop, just talking about our why, Success Club, Emerald, like setting goals in the business. Books, I told you guys, if you need book recommendations, they're there. But then at the very back, what we're going to continue to be doing together all month long are these trackers. So you heard Kristen talk about the 4 vital behaviors, 1, 2, 3, 4. Your vital behaviors are right here. And so all day, every day, this is going to become our, have you ever done like habit tracking, ladies, where you track like how much water you got, or did you get your workout in? This is habit tracking. This is not, when I first started coaching, I thought, man, this is like a shaming device. I don't want to show my coach what I'm not doing. And now as a coach, I want you guys to show me what you're not doing. I want to see what cracks there are in your business, because if I don't see what you're not doing, I can't help you to figure out how to do it, right? And so it's actually really helpful for me to see what you're not doing. So this becomes a fun little tracking device. Did you do your personal development today? Check. Did you do your workout today? Check. Did you have a shake today? Check. Did you check in with your sisterhood or your challenge group, your pod group? Check. And you can go through the list and it lays it all out. Now, you guys can clear as day see, I don't have every box checked in every day, because it's not about 100% A+ perfect stamp, right? It's not. It's about doing the right things that will move the needle forward for your business. And then being honest with yourself about things that maybe you've been lagging on. Yeah. So we're going to get that in your hands. So your homework is make sure you have a program and that you're doing it. And I think you guys have already checked that box off. So you're already ahead of the game. You're going to go all in on your journey with us, which you've already been doing for 2 weeks now. Check. You're just going to keep going. Now we're going to really make sure we're starting to share it. Share the recipes you're eating, share the water you're drinking, share how you're feeling, share your favorite workout move of the day, your Friday rise and jives, what you guys have been doing. Okay. And then we're going to get you into the pod. So then your bonus, you're going to print out your handbook, and I want you to already start figuring out who is one person this month that you could get to do this with you. Right. And for me, that was my mom. When I first started, I wanted my mom to be like my first customer. And I knew she'd be when I say an easy yes, I mean, she was a yes that like helped me build confidence for myself. And I didn't have to like sweat and like panic. Right. So when I say easy, yes, I don't mean like easy. I mean, like, it didn't require me to get too far out of my comfort zone to have my mom dive in with us. Yeah. So I want you to start thinking, and in our pod, we're going to talk about it a little bit more as we get connected. But that's your goal. Your goal is find one. Yeah. So ladies, is there anything, I'm going to stop the recording.